Hi friends, we're going to go ahead and complete pages 8 and 9 of your Unit 1 narrative writing notes, which focus on author's voice. So author's voice is simply an author's or speaker's distinctive use of language. Just like we have our own fingerprints that can distinguish you, your voice is a distinguishing mark as well. So in order to create a unique voice through writing, an author uses something called diction, syntax, and imagery. So the combination of all three things, diction focusing on words, syntax on sentences, and imagery on how an author creates images and pictures in your head, those three things all create an author's voice. So diction simply refers to the word choice intended to convey a certain effect. So an author makes very conscious word choices. Maybe they choose to say happy, or maybe they chose to say delighted, or glad, or cheerful. That word choice tells you a little bit about them and helps to inform their overall voice. Words often have both literal meanings and other more abstract meanings associated with them. The way in which an author chooses his or her words is significant and helps guide the reader into understanding the author's intent. So we have for diction what's called denotation. For every word, we have a denotation, and that just means the literal or primary meaning of a word. In other words, the dictionary definition. I like to remember denotation, dictionary definition. Connotation is where the author's voice is really going to start to play. So connotation refers to the ideas or feelings associated with a word when read, in addition to its actual dictionary definition. So if you hear or read a word, sometimes that particular word might have a positive association with it or a negative association. So in your practice for diction, and this is just an example, this is not on your paper, the practice is asking you to read each definition for each pair of terms and then circle which one you would rather be called. So for example, would you rather be called intelligent or a know-it-all? And I bet that you just circled intelligent because between the two of them, intelligent has a positive connotation. We think of good things when we think intelligent, but when you hear know-it-all, you think kind of annoying, bratty, maybe like a teacher's pet sort of thing. So that's a negative connotation. So for the three other pairs of terms, pushy, assertive, indecisive, flexible, self-confident, and conceited, go ahead and circle the one that you would rather be called. Realistically, you're probably circling the ones that have positive connotations. So go ahead, pause and do that, please. Okay, so I bet that we have circled assertive, not indecisive. I bet you have circled assertive, flexible, and self-confident because those all have positive connotations along with them, and you want to be associated with positive things. Okay, moving on, syntax. This includes sentence structure, word order, and punctuation. And so when we are going to analyze syntax in this class, you want to ask yourself, well, are the sentences long? Are they short? Do they vary? Do certain characters speak in specific patterns? So for example, does one character only speak in questions? Does one character always have exclamation marks at the end of their sentences? The author's trying to tell you something through their punctuation, through syntax. Something I want you to understand is that words, what words an author chooses to emphasize can be influenced by how they are rearranging the words in a sentence. For the practice, you're going to label the word order in the following sentences. I want you to think, where's the subject, verb, and object? And by doing this, you can kind of see how what's emphasized in a sentence changes simply based on word order. So your sample sentence is, I ate the sandwich, which is right now in subject, verb, object order. You have a little chart that I want you to go ahead and fill out. The first one is done for you where subject, I, comes first, verb, ate, is in the middle, and the object, the sandwich, comes last. You're going to go ahead and do that same ordering for the remaining 5 questions. Go ahead and pause while you complete that, please. Okay, moving on to the last thing, imagery is just simply the words or phrases, including specific details and figurative language, that a writer uses to represent persons, objects, actions, feelings, and ideas descriptively by appealing to the five senses. In other words, how do they use words or phrases, including figurative language, to create a picture in your head? And as we know, the five senses are sight, smell, taste, touch, hearing. So an author is going to use their words to appeal and kind of trigger one of your five senses to help create a picture or a better idea of what's going on in your head.